we're doing right now is these courts needed some love. This asphalt is well over, my estimation, well over 40 years old. And so the asphalt has a lot of cracks that are caused by just stresses in the asphalt as it ages. So you get a lot of these varied chicken cracks, what we call them, chicken scratch. But in the back of the court, you get a lot of alligator cracks. And alligator cracks, like what's going out towards that, your Forerunner, is that's an indication of aged asphalt. It's just, it's time to be replaced. But we do a lot of work to extend the life of a court by doing what's called a route and fill. And so in this case, you can't just fill things with caulk. Anything that's oil-based or caulk-based will not adhere to acrylic emulsion very well. And so you have to put in something that adheres to the acrylic. And you do that by mixing in an acrylic emulsion, which is almost like a glue, an acrylic glue with silica 60 grit sand and a tiny bit of Portland. So 95% sand, 5% Portland. And that creates a bonding layer that will bond inside this crack. Then it gets scraped smooth, and then we take a floor machine and sand it smooth to feather it out so that you don't get any humps in the cracks or the lines. So the biggest challenge that we have here is the edge of the court has been uplifted. So as age goes on and roots come in, it starts lifting up this curb. So once you start seeing a hump like this, you know that you're going to trap water because the water is trying to drain out this way. But then we end up with a puddle like this. And that puddle like this, if water sits in it for a long time, you can ablate the surface and start to bubble up the coating. And you don't want to have that. So we have to do what we can to get rid of this water. And what we'll do with this water is we'll actually cut a drainage channel in to here and try to drain all of this water out. So we'll actually have a cut, and I can show you one in the other court. So we'll have a channel that will come in and then try to drain this puddle and drain it out through the curb there.
Wow.
In other areas like this, we can't really drain this area. So what we do here is I'm going to mark this, and then we'll come in and actually fill this with a thin layer of material, the same patch material, and then you won't have this.
What's that? Is that like a dip in the asphalt, or what caused that? It was just unevenness?
Yeah. Typically what happens is when you see cracks, that the asphalt, not only does the asphalt tear, but it also lifts. And that's a function of the subsurface becoming loose. So typically you would have a roller come in and take 6 inches of gravel and fines and really roll it down into a hard base. As the cracks appear, water drains very quickly, and that rock starts to wash out. Once it starts to wash out, the asphalt will actually dip and create these puddles. Probably about 1,500 feet of cracks, none of them straight, that take a lot of time. So we have a crack chaser that is a dolly that allows you to drive around and bevel open all these cracks. So that took a couple of days, and then it took a couple more days of sitting on your hands and knees filling in all of these cracks. There's just no easy way to do it. But like any paint job, it's all in the prep. And so the more time you spend on the prep, the better the result you're going to have. So in this case, well, that drain was there, but in this case, this is a puddle that's already drained. So here's an example of an area. This puddle was very wet last night, and it came down in here and rolled out. So that's what we're going to try to do with all of this stuff on the side. Very common area playing pickleball. You're going to be right here serving.
Yeah.
So we're going to want to take care of it. This area. So we can't take care of everything, but the areas that are most in play, we'll certainly try to address those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're going to see a pretty radical transformation of this court in the next 2 days.